All right, let's wrap up with a strong coffee drip classic segment. Wrong answers only. This is where we'll answer a question with wrong answers only. Also, this is not a classic segment yet. We've never done it before. But Ian, a little behind the scenes here. Ian and I and Duncan, when he's around, Duncan sends his regards. He couldn't make it today. I just talked to him. We usually run through, before we press record, we run through some things to make sure Ian's not saying the same thing that I am, etc. But for wrong answers only this week, we didn't talk about our answers. So these are going to be new to us as they're coming out of our mouths here momentarily. So OpenAI's Sky voice has been in the media a lot in recent weeks. We've talked about it at length with the whole idea of, is it Scarlett Johannson, is it not? And I'm kind of done with it now. I don't care anymore, and I think a lot of people are just moving on. So instead of focusing on the whole Scarlett Johannson issue, I thought it'd be much more interesting and more fun if we did something different. Ian, if you worked at OpenAI and you were tasked with finding a new voice, a celebrity voice, past or present, for ChatGPT, whose voice would you use? Wrong answers only. Ian, you're up first.
I'm going to have to go with Bobcat Goldthwait from the Police Academy fame.
Police Academy.
Because you can't understand a single word he says in those movies. So, I think that having an AI voice which gives you a good response, but you don't understand a word of it, that's just...
Yeah. That's a really, really good one. He was one of my favorite characters in Police Academy as well. Yeah. I liked him. Do you remember his name on Police Academy?
I don't remember his name in the movie. No, I've forgotten it.
I never Google things while we're doing the podcast because I think it makes for horrible podcasting, but I kind of want to know now. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Oh, his name was Zed.
Oh, that's
Z-E-D.
correct. Yeah, I remember that now that you say it. Yeah.
Yeah. He, overall a good police officer. He just kind of all over the place. Couldn't understand what he was saying. Yeah. No, professional though. No, that's a great one. For me, I'm going with a celebrity who actually recently passed, but kind of falls in the same scope as yours. Gilbert Gottfried.
Ah, yes.
Especially when because for a while he was the Aflac Duck and then he got fired. But that voice was so like piercing that imagine asking ChatGPT for a question about like a recipe and Gilbert Gottfried just yells the recipe back at you. Yeah. That would be something. So he would be my kind of number one wrong answer only. But I think Bobcat Goldthwait and Gilbert Gottfried, both great answers.
Yeah. I do.
Do you have any others?
I had a couple that I think these aren't wrong answers. I think these would be great answers, and I think people would...
Okay, so now we're moving away from the fun part, and Ian's actually going to answer the question properly.
People would download these in the millions if they were options. Number one, Morgan Freeman. If you could have Morgan Freeman giving you your OpenAI chatbot answers, I think everyone would want to download that. And my second one was Sean Connery. Two sort of famous voices, people famed for their voices. So yeah, I think those would both be great options if OpenAI is looking for.
Those are two
other celebrities' voices to steal.
Yes. They're not stealing; they're borrowing. Yeah. They're borrowing the voice of somebody. Not Morgan Freeman. Torgan Meeman would be who they would use. And you said Sean Connery because he's Scottish, right?
Yeah,
he is Scottish, or was Scottish.
But he is famous for his voice. His voice, I think, is very famous.
He's very famous. Very famous. Yeah. And I would say potentially could be one of the most famous Scottish people. You would be up there with me, Sean Connery.
I think, historically there are obviously some, like Andrew Carnegie and Adam Smith and things like that. But yes, in terms of like actors and things like that, I think Sean Connery's probably got to be up there.
Colin Montgomery, I'm a golfer. Colin Montgomery, Scottish. Couldn't win a major. Andy Murray, he's Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah,
tennis player.
Tennis player. Yeah, world number one for a while. I don't think he still is, but yeah.
And then, I mean, as people have heard if they listen to our podcast, who would you say is the most famous Scottish singing duo that are brothers?
Oh, it's hard to think. Can you think of any off the top of your head?
I can.
You can.
I can proclaim what I would say.
Very good.
Yes. Proclaimers reference. Ian, just so you know, too, as we've totally gone off the track with this one, I've tagged the Proclaimers in a couple of posts when I put up our videos, hoping to get a response from them. Nothing yet. I'm going to keep trying. I want them to give you a big shout out one day.
Craig and Charlie are very busy men, and
maybe they're on their tour bus. They check Instagram. There's a couple of idiots talking about them from Canada. They're like, oh, hello. That's all I want. So we'll see. I'll keep you in the loop. So some great wrong answers, and then you with some actual great answers too. I don't remember. Do you have a specific voice that you use?
I can't remember. I've changed it a couple of times since. I have an iPhone, and I think for Siri I just used the default one. But I've changed it a couple of times on the ChatGPT app.
So have I. Yeah, I've experimented with the different ones to see which one I like the best. Yeah. So yeah.